Ever wish you could just like wave a magic wand and make all those like tedious work tasks just disappear? You know those ones that keep you like glued to your screen, clicking the same buttons day in and day out?
Yeah.
Well, today's deep dive is all about banishing those tasks for good. We're exploring the world of Simplex Flow, a tool claiming to unlock a whole new level of automation within the AFAS software ecosystem.
And it's not just wishful thinking. Imagine this. You onboard a new employee, and with a single click, Simplex Flow automatically creates their account, grants access to all the relevant systems, and even sends a welcome email. It's about working smarter, not harder.
Okay, color me intrigued.
Yep.
But let's back up a bit. Their website calls Simplex Flow a powerful automation robot. Is that just some marketing jargon, or is this thing the real deal?
It's actually a pretty accurate description. I'd say, think of it this way. Standard AFAS features are like a reliable car. They get you where you need to go. But Simplex Flow, it's like strapping a rocket booster onto that car. It's not just about doing things faster. It's about achieving things that were previously impossible within the confines of AFAS alone.
So we're not just talking about like auto-filling forms here.
Mhm.
Give me an example of something truly game-changing that Simplex Flow can do.
Let's say an employee leaves your company. Instead of manually revoking access, updating systems, and notifying various departments, Simplex Flow can automate that entire offboarding process. It's about minimizing security risks and ensuring a smooth and compliant transition, all while freeing up your time for more strategic tasks.
Wow, that's impressive. But I have to ask, how user-friendly is this thing? Do I need to be like a coding whiz to build these automations?
Not at all. Simplex Flow is built around a visual process builder. Think of it like a digital flowchart. You drag and drop pre-built actions, connect them together, and voila, you've created an automation. If you can use basic presentation software, you can master Simplex Flow.
That's music to my ears. But it's one thing to be user-friendly. It's another to be powerful. Simplex Flow claims to excel in 3 key areas: automation, connections, and conversions. Let's break those down. Starting with automation. What kind of tasks are we talking about automating here?
Think about those repetitive, rule-based tasks that suck the life out of your workday. Simplex Flow can automate things like generating invoices, setting personalized reminders, updating customer information across multiple systems, or even creating those complex reports that make you want to pull your hair out.
So it's like having a digital assistant working tirelessly behind the scenes, taking care of all the tedious stuff. I could get used to that.
Exactly. It frees you up to focus on the strategic work that requires a human touch, the stuff that actually makes a difference to your bottom line.
Okay, you've definitely piqued my interest. Let's move on to connections. How does Simplex Flow handle the often tricky task of connecting different systems?
This is where Simplex Flow really shines. It acts as a bridge, seamlessly connecting AFAs to a universe of external systems. Think CRMs, marketing automation platforms,
Yeah.
e-commerce systems, even custom-built applications. If it has an API, Simplex Flow can likely connect to it.
So, no more manually transferring data between systems. That alone would save me hours each week. But how does it actually make those connections happen? Is it overly technical?
They've actually made it surprisingly simple. They offer both direct API integration for the tech-savvy users and something called endpoint flow for those who prefer a more streamlined approach.
The endpoint flow. That sounds intriguing. What's the story there?
It's essentially a way for external developers to connect their applications to AFAS without needing to become AFAS experts themselves. Simplex Flow takes care of all the complex handshakes on the AFAS side, making integration smoother and faster for everyone involved.
That's pretty clever. It's like they've thought of everything. Okay, last but not least, let's talk about conversions. What's the magic behind Simplex Flow's approach to data conversions?
Imagine you're migrating to AFAS from another system, and you're dreading the thought of manually transferring all that customer data. Simplex Flow can handle that entire process for you, quickly and efficiently. It can create complete customer profiles, import contracts, populate payment details, you name it.
No more wrestling spreadsheets for hours on end. I can already feel the stress melting away. It sounds like Simplex Flow has really thought of everything when it comes to making life easier for AFA's users. But there's one thing I'm particularly really curious about: their unique pricing model. They use a points-based system, which is not something I've encountered before in the automation world.
It is unusual,
Yeah.
but it's actually quite clever. Think of it like this. Points are like fuel for your automations. Each automation you create, or flow as they call it, has a base cost in points. Then you use additional points based on how long each flow runs.
So a more complex flow that runs for a longer time
Hmm.
would use up more points.
Precisely. It's like a pay-as-you-go model for automation,
Yeah.
giving you granular control over your spending. You only pay for the automation power you actually use.
It makes a lot of sense. But they also have different sizes of flows, right?
Yeah,
What's that all about?
that's where it gets even more interesting. You can choose from small, medium, large,
Mhm.
and even unlimited flows. Each size determines how long a flow can run and how many points it consumes per minute. So if you have a short, simple task, you can use a small flow and conserve your points. But for those more demanding automations, you can level up to a larger size.
It's all about finding the right balance
Right.
between the complexity of the automation and your points budget.
Exactly. It encourages you to be strategic
Hmm.
about your automation strategy, making sure you're getting the most value out of your subscription.
This might be my favorite pricing model ever. Okay, so we've covered the basics of automation, connections, conversions, and even their intriguing pricing structure. But what about keeping an eye on all these automated processes? How does Simplex Flow handle monitoring and, make sure things are running smoothly?
That's a crucial aspect. And Simplex Flow offers both proactive and reactive error handling. Think of it as having a safety net for your automation.
Okay, I'm listening. Tell me more about the safety net.
Proactive error handling is like having a crystal ball. Simplex Flow can actually detect potential issues before they become real problems. Let's say your automation involves importing data from an external source. Simplex Flow can be set up to double-check that the data is formatted correctly, that all the necessary fields are present, and that the connection to the external source is stable. If it detects any red flags, it can alert you immediately.
So instead of just reacting to errors after they've already caused chaos, Simplex Flow tries to prevent them in the first place.
Exactly. It's like having a guardian angel watching over your automations 204/7.
That's reassuring, especially for those mission-critical automations that we simply can't afford to have go haywire. But let's be realistic. Sometimes things slip through the cracks. What happens when an error does occur? How does Simplex Flow handle that?
That's where reactive error handling comes in. Simplex Flow provides detailed logs and visualizations that help you quickly identify the root cause of the error. It's like having a detective on hand to help you piece together what went wrong and why.
So it's not just about knowing that something went wrong, but actually understanding why it went wrong so you can prevent it from happening again. That's a game changer. No more endless troubleshooting marathons.
You got it. Simplex Flow gives you the insights you need to be proactive about maintaining and optimizing your automations over time.
This all sounds incredibly powerful, but I have to admit, I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed. It seems like there's a lot to learn and master. What kind of support does Simplex Flow offer for those of us who might need a helping hand?
They have a robust support system in place, catering to different learning styles and comfort levels. For those who like to figure things out on their own, they have detailed documentation, video tutorials, and a comprehensive knowledge base on their website.
That's a great starting point for the DIYers out there. But what about those of us who prefer a more hands-on approach?
They offer one-on-one sparring sessions
Yeah.
with their flow experts.
Sparring sessions. That sounds intense.
Don't worry, it's not as intimidating as it sounds. Think of it as a collaborative brainstorming session. With a Simplex Flow guru, you can get personalized advice, troubleshoot specific issues, or even just bounce ideas off them.
Whether you need help with a specific technical challenge or just want to make sure you're building your automations in the most efficient way possible, they've got you covered.
Exactly. They seem to understand that implementing a new tool, especially one as powerful as Simplex Flow, can feel daunting. They've made it a priority to provide the support needed to make the transition as smooth as possible.
That's great to hear. Now, let's dive a little deeper into the technical nuts and bolts. They keep mentioning these things called update connectors. What exactly are they, and what role do they play in the Simplex Flow universe?
Update connectors are essentially the building blocks for updating data within AFAS. They act as a bridge between Simplex Flow and specific data points within your AFAS environment.
Okay, so if I wanted to, say, update a customer's contact information or add a new product phase in AFAS, I'd need to use an update connector.
Precisely. They provide a standardized way to interact with AFAS data, making it much easier to build reliable and scalable automations.
And they've designed it so that a single flow can handle an unlimited number of update connectors. That seems ambitious, to say the least.
It is impressive. It means you can update multiple data points across different modules, all within a single flow. Think about it. Your customer fills out a form on your website. That single action could trigger a flow that automatically creates a new contact record, updates their billing information, and even assigns them to a specific service level, all in one go.
That's incredible. It's like a chain reaction of efficiency. But are there any limitations to how much we can pack into a single flow?
The main constraint is time. Each flow has a maximum runtime, depending on its size. So while you can theoretically fit unlimited update connectors into a single flow, you need to make sure it all happens within that allocated time frame. You don't want a flow timing out before it's finished its job.
That makes sense. You've got to keep things moving along. But I have to imagine that this approach, using a single flow for multiple updates, is significantly more efficient than the alternatives. Right.
You're absolutely right. Some automation platforms charge per action or per API call, which can get expensive quickly.
Yeah.
But Simplex Flow's approach, especially with the points-based system, is designed to be much more budget-friendly, especially for those complex automations that touch multiple systems.
So, not only is it more efficient from a workflow perspective, but it can also be easier on the wallet.
I'm starting to see the appeal here. Okay, so we've talked a lot about the benefits for smaller businesses, but what about those larger organizations with more complex needs and higher volumes? What does Simplex Flow offer them?
Simplex Flow hasn't forgotten about their corporate clients. They offer specialized corporate licenses with features designed for organizations that need more firepower.
Like what kind of firepower are we talking about?
Well, for starters, they offer increased parallel processing. This means you can run multiple flows simultaneously without any lag or slowdown.
So if you're like a large organization processing like thousands of transactions or dealing with time-sensitive data, parallel processing is key.
Absolutely. It's about ensuring those automations run like a well-oiled machine, even under pressure. And to further ease the minds of their corporate clients, Simplex Flow offers a 99.8% uptime guarantee. Wow, 99.8%. That's a bold promise in the world of software, which, let's be honest, can be a bit unpredictable at times. What makes them so confident in their ability to deliver that level of reliability?
They've invested heavily in building a robust and redundant infrastructure. Think backup systems, fail-safes, the works. They basically created an environment where downtime is practically a non-issue.
Those mission-critical automations, the ones that keep your business running smoothly, can be entrusted to Simplex Flow without worry.
That's the idea. And they don't stop there. Corporate licenses also include automated daily checks of your flows.
So it's not just about keeping the lights on, but about making sure everything is running smoothly under the hood.
Precisely. They've built in proactive measures to catch and address potential issues before they impact your operations. And of course, if something does come up, corporate clients have a dedicated point of contact for immediate support. It's like having a Simplex Flow expert on speed dial.
It sounds like they've really pulled out all the stops for their corporate clients. But all this talk about automation, efficiency, robots, it's enough to make anyone wonder about the future of human jobs.
It's a valid concern, and it's important to approach automation ethically and thoughtfully. However, history has shown us time and again that while automation may change the nature of work, it rarely leads to widespread job loss.
So instead of replacing jobs, it's more about redefining them.
Exactly. Think about it. By automating those repetitive, mundane tasks, we free up human employees to focus on more creative, strategic, and ultimately more fulfilling work.
So Simplex Flow isn't about replacing your team. It's about empowering them to work smarter and make better use of their unique skills and talents. It's about augmenting human capability, not eliminating it.
Precisely. It's about creating a more human-centered workplace where technology enhances, not hinders, our ability to do our best work.
Well said. So for our listeners who are intrigued by Simplex Flow, who are tired of those tedious tasks and crave a more streamlined and efficient AFAS experience, what's the first step?
I'd recommend checking out their website. They have detailed case studies showcasing how different businesses are using Simplex Flow to solve real-world problems. Seeing it in action often makes the possibilities click for people.
And for those who are ready to roll up their sleeves and give it a try,
they offer a free trial. It's the perfect way to explore the interface, get a feel for the platform, and see firsthand how Simplex Flow can transform your AFAS experience.
I love it. A risk-free way to dip your toes into the world of automation. Wow. There you have it. If you're looking for a way to unlock a new level of efficiency and streamline your workflow within AFAS, Simplex Flow just might be the game changer you've been waiting for.
It's time to banish those tedious tasks. Reclaim your time and unleash the full potential of your workday.
Couldn't have said it better myself. That's it for today's deep dive into the world of Simplex Flow. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.